Hey, let's go into Walmart. Look at survival items. We're changing seasons now. This is March. You can tell St. Patrick's Day is going to be arriving soon. So this is me just walking down, looking through some of the aisles as we get to the uh, sporting goods camping section. Boy, they're certainly stocked up for Easter, I'll tell you. St. Patrick's Day and Easter, sorry. Oh, Peeps. Beep, beep. Marshmallow treats. No problem. More St. Patrick's Day stuff. Oh, this KitchenAid mixers. I just took a look at some of the attachments here for them. And then they've got, similar styles. Farberware has them. And they have the different attachments for it too. Very ruggedly made and priced accordingly, I think. So let's get going back down here. Crock-Pot's a $200 crock-pot? My goodness. I wonder if it washes the dishes afterwards, but it's funny how obviously by the shelf space I've seen in stores, crock-pots have made a big comeback. Having, digital interface and being able to do more things have made them more popular again. There's some bikes, batteries, sorry. Here we go, we're in the sporting goods. One of these aisles I'm going to turn down. Is it this? Here we have some tents. I'm not really looking at those. I was concerned a lot about trying to find some of the water purification items. Here's tent stakes. Here's a sleeping bag I think I looked at. Yeah, warm weather, down to 40 degrees, $50. They got some pillows. How about a pillow? A sleeping bag liner for about $9. And let's go further down here. This is the little area. I guess it's the next aisle over. That I'm actually trying to find the. Here we go. Here's the miscellaneous survival stuff. And here's some reflective tape. I think that's neat. You put on your jacket or whatever. You can put it on a walking stick. Put it on a vehicle, for crying out loud. They had some nice waterproof cases. And they're made to fit different items. This one was only $6, a smaller one. Kind of nice. Looks like I could fit a tablet in there and all kinds of cool stuff. Again, thinking that you're going out where it's going to be wet. Harsh weather at least. Okay, here's the little items here. And here's the insert refillable stuff for the $29 for the for this LifeStraw water bottle. Water bottles are so popular now. And here's another brand, Sawyer. And I can't get it back on the hook, not at least with one hand. And there we see the LifeStraws for $17. We've got some collapsible bottles. Here is the only chemical method they have. It's kind of odd because I look at this and I thought it was iodine, but it seems to be chlorine, even though it's got the second pill you put in to make the water taste better, because the iodine or chlorine does cause it to taste quite different. Here's a collapsible bag. You could have one of those in a 1 liter size if you're thinking of doing water purification with chemicals. There's those LifeStraws again, $17. Here's a collapsible water bottle with the LifeStraw attachment. So you can carry water. If you just have the LifeStraw, you gotta drink the water where you are, and then you don't have water, so it makes sense to have something to carry them. Oh, and they've got some rope and different things here. Clothesline. Here are these little safety kits, and I'm actually going to pick up a survival and a first aid kit. I'm going to pick up one of each of these, and in a second video we're going to go through them and see if we think they're just gimmicks or we think that they could have something valuable in them. Obviously they're not an entire kit. They have some larger first aid kits, fire starting, Spark Force, that's a popular one. Here's your storm matches, survival tent, reflective. That's kind of a neat idea. Some some multi-tool gadget type things. Compasses, they have them down to $5 for an inexpensive compass. And then we're going over into this other section and just take a quick look. They have some of the more camping items. Here's the flashlights. They're always interesting. Here are these 9 LED flashlights that take 3 AAA batteries. They're pretty good. And they've got these little headlamps for $1. And they're kind of neat. Here's I don't know about these things. They're a glow stick. So all they are is an LED that goes into a piece that diffuses it. That one I couldn't even get to work. This one I guess does. Yeah, this one lights up. So the idea is you've got a light stick you can turn on and off. You know, it mimics the chemical light stick. And we have different flashlights, different lights. Flashlights is something, mag lights, you can pay any amount for. You can pay $1 for something, and you can buy flashlights for $150. Now, I'm back here being tempted by these things, which I finally given to temptation and get them. And I'm just looking here what's inside. Light stick, button compass, survival towel, survival blanket. No fire starting. Interesting. Very interesting. Here's the first aid kit that's in a tin. And like I say, having a tin has some advantages. You could wrap electrical tape around the seam, and now it gives it some degree of being watertight.
Matches.
And
safety
like I say, the advantage to having
antibiotic, razor blade, reusable tin.
Tin sometimes is the ability to make char cloth if you have cotton material with you, or just sticks and woods can be used for it too. So the idea is you make
This
something
one's
for your
family
next fire.
size.
It's a family size.
It's got gloves in it.
A little first aid kit. And you can see some other first aid kits hanging there. But yeah, the life straws there. All kinds of cool stuff. Again, I'm looking at, there's a stove for $5, stove with some fuel. That would be interesting to try. We're getting to that weather period where it's not so much of a trial to go out, stay out. And of course the stove with fuel would be enough if you had a metal container to purify your water again. Again, we're kind of on this water kick. Here's some nice little, Stanley makes some nice little kits that are for cooking, and a lot of people are saying that these are much better than some of the specific brands that are made specifically for survival. They're certainly less expensive. So just something neat. We may get one of those and try it out. Sporks. Thermoses. Fire starting. We've got this fire starting crumble. We've got fire starting cubes. Kind of Duraflames, actually logs. The crumble type fire starter is only $1. And then we've got, your fuels for your commercial, not commercial stoves, but your camping stoves. Now we've gotten into the insects, which I'll tell you, you got to have something for insect protection if you're in Maine in the summertime. I'll tell you, it can be unbelievable. I guess in Alaska at certain times, there's just so many bugs, it's unbelievable. These are some ponchos, and they're fairly inexpensive. They're only $3, and they would be at least multi-use. They wouldn't be like the thin plastic ones that you use once and you throw away. Here's some walking sticks, and here's a nice wooden one for 15. It's got some swirls on it to make it look fancy. Then I'm looking at these trekking poles, and I'm thinking, this looks interesting. But then I see this one in the back that's advertising that it has a tripod mount camera thread on the top. So in other words, you can use it as a selfie stick or just as something to hold your camera to take pictures at lower shutter speeds. Having a monopod or a stick with your camera on it,
Doesn't say what size it
touching the
extends
ground,
to.
you can get much sharper pictures at lower shutter speeds if you have to. And you could always just prop
got
it up
the,
with something. And
Camera. Tripod.
you know, if you
mount.
want to
Here it is.
photograph something you're
one
doing or
pole.
whatever. And I'm looking at the thing
4.3
to figure out that it extends to about 4
4.4 feet
3/4
extended.
feet. So I'll have to think about that, if I think that's big enough or not. Probably is for a trekking pole, not for a walking staff.
Tarps.
And here we've got some tarps.
cords.
We've got a collection of tarps, not necessarily camping tarps, but just plastic tarps. Oh, we're going back by the flashlights.
Oh, we'll do an opening. I'm going to get these 2 small kits.
Yeah, there. I
show
am
what's in
fooling
them,
with these things.
and maybe think about what could be added or taken away to make them more practical.
There, take
Here we
one
were
last
looking
look
at
at
the
stuff, I
waters.
guess, here.
Just going over this again, we've got the life straw or the Sawyer type things.
Microfiltration.
Microfilter
Some of these things have
system.
some kind of
filters out
disinfectant
bacteria
in
and
them too.
giardia.
I haven't
They only have one
looked
chemical
at
treatment,
some of
which
these
is
other
the
brands. Here's
iodine
Eric, and I have to
tablets.
point out that they only have that one
Oops, I
chemical
should
method.
put that. Maybe it is an iodine.
So
It is.
there we go. And again, here I'm just looking at the specs on the purification tablets, and
Nope,
like I was
this is,
surprised, they appear to have the thing for the
hypochlorite. So
iodine
this is,
removal, but the thing you put in
chlorine-based.
first tends to be, looks like it's chlorine. So I'm going to have to look into this. I'll look that up online
Oh, wait a second.
and maybe put something in the comment section
Yeah,
below
that's
about this.
interesting.
Because normally they have an iodine pill with
then it's got
another
the,
pill that has
Thing to improve the taste again.
vitamin C in it. But this could be the combination of chlorine and thiosulfate in the second pill. And the thiosulfate will bind up the chlorine and put it into a form that can't be tasted as well, or is effective as a germicide.
30-minute
If you're
time.
a fool with aquariums, sometimes you get this liquid that turns your tap water into water suitable for an aquarium, and basically all it is a weak thiosulfate solution.
Oh, hi Mike,
Put
with
that
you
in
here.
water.
So I bought those 2 little items in Walmart. I thought we'd open them up here in a separate video, take a look at them. And the thing is, they're put in a clear waterproof type case. As you saw, they had a first aid kit, at least it was in a metal tin. And there are some advantages or disadvantages to having, these of course are going to be watertight. So if you, around a lot of water, that might be preferable. But if you're around just in the woodland where it isn't getting wet a lot, there are advantages to having a metal tin, especially if you plan on, needing to be able to start a fire to keep warm. Sometimes a metal container can be used to make char cloth. I can put a link in the bottom to that video where I show it. But so anyway, we got these. One's red, one's orange, and a lot of times cases can be used for a lot of things. Now this is a bigger case, but here we have my camera is suddenly saved from moisture or whatever. These are smaller. Be interesting to see when I open one of these if a cell phone will fit in one. An older cell phone. And as I mentioned in one of my videos, this one's probably even too big to fit in here. Yep, this is too big too. I've got a smaller one. That cell phones made after a certain date have to be able to call 911 even without a contract. So that's something to keep in mind if you're more in an urban area, that communications is a lot more important sometimes than having gadgets, being able to call and say, help, get me out of here. Because, that's the primary goal of survival, is to survive until you can get out and back into your regular situation. you know, if you start talking about something like bushcraft or something like that, you're actually talking about, or camping, whatever, or living in the woods in a more primitive style for a certain length of time, as long as you have your camera and the internet, right, and your phone. So you're not very primitive if you have all of those. But anyway, we'll take these apart, look at them, and we'll consider what might be missing, or, you know, could be put in, what maybe should be taken out. So see you on the next video. Bye.